So, we will continue magnetic property of solids. So, we have seen that to describe magnetic property of a solid, we need some parameter. So, this susceptibility, that is the magnetization by magnetic field, right, and then permeability mu, which is related with the magnetic induction B equal to mu H. So, if we apply magnetic field on a material, then its lines of force per unit area that increase. So, that is the magnetic induction. So, it has two contribution basically, one is mu 0. So, this mu 0 H plus mu 0 M, right. So, together it gives mu 0 H plus M. So, this M, so that is also give magnetic field. So, that comes from material, right, and this chi can be related with this refractive index permeability of this magnetic material. So, this B equal to basically we write mu 0 mu r, mu 0 mu r. So, mu r is this mu and mu 0, these are absolute permeability, this for air or vacuum or non-magnetic material, and this mu is absolute value for a material, magnetic material. So, this mu r is defined by basically mu by mu 0. So, this one can write this. So, where mu r relative permeability, this mu by mu 0 basically, right. And from there, as I mentioned earlier, this plus mu 0 H minus mu 0 H, if I just put here. So, from here one can write mu 0 H and then plus mu 0 mu 0 mu 0 H mu r minus 1 mu r minus 1, right. So, this so from here mu 0 H and mu 0 M. So, this B equal to or this I can write in principle from here itself I can tell. So, B equal to this also one can write, right. So, this will be equal to this. So, mu 0 will go. So, from here I will get mu 0 M equal to mu 0 H mu r minus 1, mu r minus 1. So, what I want? I want, so mu 0 forget, I want chi equal to m by h, that will be mu r minus 1. Okay. So, thus this susceptibility is connected with the permeability. Okay. So, these are the magnetic parameters, this m, then chi, then mu, basically mu r. So, in terms of this we study the property of the magnetic material, right. So, that I have discussed, and further I have discussed that this, what is the origin of this magnetism of a material. So, that I have discussed that metal is made of atom, they sits in the lattice site, right. So, atom have again angular orbital momentum, orbital motion, and then so atom have orbital motion, electron atom, and their electrons are there, outer shell electrons are there, and at the center this nucleus is there, nucleus, right. So, now this electron have two kinds of motion, one is orbital motion and another is spin motion, and nucleus have spinning motion, spin motion. Okay. So, that we have seen this due to orbital motion, we have mu L, that is minus E by 2 m into L H cross, right. So, this H cross if you put here, so it gives basically minus L mu V, So, this L mu V, now here direction of these two basically in opposite direction, this we write, these two are in opposite direction, that is the indication of this negative sign, and we get so when this L, that is the quantized value L H cross, then we get minus L mu V. Similarly, for spinning motion, we get mu V minus G S mu V for one electron. So, this is half and G is 2 as I mentioned. So, this will be 1, this 2 into half, this 1. So, minus mu V. Okay. So, apart from these two, then we have mentioned that there is a mu n, nuclear magnetic moment. So, that is also for spin. So, in this case minus E by 2 m p, this mass is for this nuclear magnetron, this Bohr magnetron, this is the nuclear magnetron. Okay. So, then your, if I put H cross, this we write minus mu n. Okay. So, whereas this mu n, this is proton mass, this is heavier than the electron mass, and one can see that this mu s and this mu n, this mu s is almost this higher 10 to the power 3 times of mu n. So, these are very small magnitude, and thus we neglect this for when we consider this mu s mu l compared to this value, these are very negligible value. So, that is why we sometimes we neglect. Okay. So, now atom have many electrons, means there are many orbits and these electrons have spinning motion. So, that total angular momentum one can calculate capital L, capital S, right, and then considering the LS coupling, that is the J, that is the J. So, that I have discussed about this, but further I will discuss whenever necessary. So, this so atom have this resultant magnetic moment, some magnetic moment considering this total angular momentum, that is mu j. Okay. So, each atom have mu j value, each atom have mu j value, right, mu j value magnetic moment. So, atom is attached with a dipole magnetic moment, right. So, when these atoms are in solids, now how these moments are oriented in the crystal, in the solid with respect to some direction in space. So, that direction is in space is generally taken as the direction of the magnetic field. So, when we apply magnetic field on this system, so these moments, magnetic moments, they interact with this magnetic field and they reorient, and as a result we get the magnetic property in terms of magnetization, chi or permeability, right. So, every material, every atom in a material have the permanent dipole moment. So, this is the permanent dipole moment, right. So, this another kind of moment are there in atom when magnetic field is applied. So, that is the basically induced magnetic moment, induced magnetic moment, induced magnetic moment. Induced magnetic moment, right. So, this is the permanent magnetic moment, all the time it is there, only it will be absent if L equal to 0, S equal to 0, J equal to 0. Okay. So, then there will be absent of this permanent dipole moment. So, there are atoms, say inert gas, okay. So, all are closed shell. So, there all are 0, all are 0. So, there is no permanent dipole moment. Okay. So, but still that material shows the magnetic property, some type of magnetic property. So, that we will see that comes due to this induced magnetic moment is responsible for that magnetic property. Okay. So, material is made of atom and each atom has permanent dipole moment, each material have permanent dipole moment. Permanent dipole moment. So, that dipole moment can be mu j, can be mu l, can be mu s, okay, depending on which one is 0. So, in some material, some atom L is 0, but S is there, right, like manganese, L is 0, S is there, okay, manganese ion. So, mu j is there. So, mu j will be equal to mu h basically. Okay. So, what about the moment? It is there, but there are some material where this permanent moment is 0, but still it shows the magnetic moment. So, that is because of induced magnetic moment. So, this type of material is called diamagnetic material, diamagnetic material. Diamagnetic material. An interesting thing is that this induced magnetic moment in presence of magnetic field, all the time it is there, all the time it is there, whether that material is having the permanent dipole moment or it is not having permanent dipole moment. So, this diamagnetic property basically based on this induced magnetic moment, and it is present in all the materials. That why it is present, that we will see, and in presence of magnetic field. When apply magnetic field, there will be induced magnetic moment, and induced magnetic moment is the origin of diamagnetism. So, diamagnetism is present in all materials, only magnitude can be different, or it can be in case of permanent dipole moment in that material where permanent magnetic moment is there. So, in that case this effect will be negligible compared to this other effect. Okay. So, today I will discuss about this diamagnetism, and this is based on induced dipole moment, diamagnetism. So, this induced magnetic moment, it comes in, magnetic moment is induced in orbital motion of the electrons. So, when electron is moving in a orbit, its mass is m, charge is e, and its angular frequency is omega 0, right. So, this this angular momentum, so because of this motion without applying magnetic field, this all the time this motion is there, and for that we get the magnetic moment, okay, orbital magnetic moment. Okay. So, that is the mu equal to I A, and that is E omega 0 by 2 pi, that is the frequency, omega 0 by 2 pi, this is the charge, and then area is pi r square. Okay. And since this the E is negative charge, so I will put negative. So, this mu from here I am getting basically this equal to this pi will go. So, we are getting minus E r square omega 0 by 2, right. So, that is the answer. So, now if I apply magnetic field, say B, so then what will happen? If I apply magnetic field B, so this magnetic flux passes through this orbit, So, this magnetic field when we are applying, so we varies this on this, it is going from 0, to B, right. So, magnetic field change from 0 to B. Okay. When there is a change of magnetic field according to Lenz law, there will be induced EMF, and that induced EMF is proportional to the change of magnetic flux, right, rate of change of magnetic flux d phi by dt, right, d phi by dt. So, due to change of, so here when magnetic field is going from 0 to B, there is a change of magnetic field, means change of magnetic flux. So, how fast you are doing, so that will decide the induced EMF, right. So, induced EMF voltage, it is the one can tell the induced electric field. So, it will generate electric field, induced electric field in such a way that this, due to this induced EMF, induced electric field, there will be current in the closed loop, there is a current in the closed loop, and that current again it will produce magnetic field, right, induced magnetic field, right, and that field direction will be such that it will oppose the applied field. Okay. So, that is the Lenz law, and according to Lenz law, so there will be induced electric field over this closed loop dl. So, that is the EMF, So, that will be equal to minus d phi by dt, okay, rate of change of flux, that is the induced EMF. So, this is the induced EMF, right. So, this is basically E 2 pi r equal to minus d phi by dt. Now, phi b equal to basically phi by a. So, pi r square. So, dB by dt equal to 1 by pi r square d phi by dt. So, d phi by dt I can replace by pi r square, I can replace by pi r square dV by dt, and this negative sign is there, So, from here I am getting E, equal to induced electric field equal to, so pi phi will go, E equal to r square by r that r by 2 minus r by 2 dB by dt, right. So, 0 to B, so changing of magnetic field, so that is provide this induced electric field, right. Now, this whenever this magnetic field is applied, okay, the charged particle is there. So, it is generating induced electric field. Now, this electric field actually this electric field will apply force on this charge. So, that is this minus E electric field, right. This is the force. Now, torque will be acting on this, that will be minus E R, right. So, that will be the torque acting on the this charge, right. So, this torque is acting on this charge, and then when torque act on this charge, force act on this any particle. So, its linear momentum changes with time. Similarly, when torque works, then its angular momentum changes. So, angular momentum change angular momentum of this electron. So, this dl by dt, right, equal to torque. So, that is minus E R, right. And L is basically mVr, means m V r m omega r square, right, m omega r square. Now, this omega, it is different from omega 0, because there is a additional torque due to this induced electric field, right. So, this is the new value of this angular frequency. So, dl by dt, you will get, I can write then d omega by dt m r square equal to this. So, here E equal to minus E r, and this E I got from here. So, this plus r square by 2 dB by dt, right, dB by dt. So, what I am getting? So, from here I can write d omega, I can write d omega equal to E r square by 2 by m r square dB by dt, right. So, this r square will go. So, it is giving me E by 2m, sorry. So, dt will not be there. So, this E by m dt, right. So, now you take this d omega is now this. Now, we are changing the field from 0 to b, and then its frequency was omega 0, and it changed to omega, right. So, what I am getting? I am getting from here, I am getting omega minus omega 0 equal to E b by 2m. Okay. So, this the value E b by 2m is the change of angular frequency, due to applied magnetic field. Okay. So, this generally we write omega a Larmor frequency, this is called Larmor frequency, Larmor precession frequency. Actually, with respect to this magnetic field, this it precesses, this angular momentum precesses. So, angular momentum that is the with this frequency it will precess, keeping the magnetic field at axis. Okay. So, this is the Larmor frequency, Larmor precession frequency. So, what I got? I got omega L equal to I can write here, I think I do not need this, electric field is this. So, I got basically omega L due to magnetic field, that is E b by 2m. Okay. So, that is the change of angular momentum, that is the change of angular frequency due to magnetic field. Now, this magnetic moment depends on this angular frequency. So, now due to change of this angular frequency, so we will get the change of the magnetic moment. So, that is the induced magnetic moment, additional magnetic moment, whatever due to mu 0 it is there, additionally for this we will get the additional moment. So, that is called the induced magnetic moment. So, now I am writing induced magnetic moment equal to minus E r square omega L by 2. Okay. So, this is the induced magnetic moment in orbital motion of this electron. So, from each orbit of the electron we will get the induced magnetic moment attached with that orbit. So, So, this is the origin of the induced magnetic moment. So, all metal have atom and each atom have orbital having electron in this orbit. So, it will give the induced induced magnetic moment. So, whether permanent dipole moment is there or not, it does not matter, it does not depends on that. So, now when this now what happens? Now atom have many electrons. Now each electron is have the orbit. Now this orbit size are different, R are different, right? As well as it may not be circular all the time, it may be ellipse, etc. So if we consider the distribution of charge, electron negative charge is spherical, it has spherical symmetry with respect to nucleus, then there are orbits in this mu is attached with each orbit, mu induced. Now what will be the total? What will be the total induced magnetic moment for that atom? That we have to find out. Now we will be able to find out if we find out the average induced magnetic moment per electrons, per orbit, per electrons, right. So if I consider the spherical symmetry of charge around the nucleus, right. So there is the basically atomic size, radius of the atom r0, right. So what we will get this, if I take whatever the radius we have taken for this radius r, it is for a just radius of an orbit, but as I mentioned this, there are many orbits having different r. So we would like to find out the average r square, right. So for spherical symmetry, so if I take x axis, y axis, z axis, so I will get Rx, Ry, Rz. So Rx square plus Ry square plus Rz square, right. So that is R square, right. So for spherical symmetry, for spherical sphere, so this Rx, Ry, Rz we can take equal, they will be equal, right. So that is the equal. So then for a orbit on a plane, so that if I consider x y plane, so Rx square Ry square equal to R square, So that will be the average radius of the orbit, and then so this we can take, if it is radius of this atom is r0. So this we can take, it is a 1/3 of r0, right, 1/3 of r0 square, because Rx square plus Ry square plus Rz square equal to r0 square, right. So it is 1/3 of this. So this I can write, then this is 2/3 of r0 square. So average radius of this orbit, this r average square, that is basically 2/3 of the radius of the atom. Okay. So I can get, so average induced EMF for each electron in orbit induced, that will be minus E omega L by 2 and R square I will replace by R average square, So, that is 2/3 R 0 square. Okay. So, that is basically minus, if I put this omega L equal to E b by 2 m, omega L, what was that? E magnetic field by 2 m, right. So, E square B by 4 m. Now, here 2 are there. So, 2 this 6 I can write 6 m R 0 square. Okay. So, this is the induced average induced EMF per electron. So, if I have n number of electrons, n number of atoms per unit volume of diamagnetic material, and each atom have z number of electrons, right. So, I will get magnetic moment per unit volume, that is m. Okay. So, this number of electrons, then for each case I am getting this, I have to put minus of E square R 0 square B by 6 m, right. So, this is the magnetization, and this negative sign, magnetization is showing the negative sign. What I am getting? Nz E square, then R 0 square mu 0 H by 6 m, right. So, chi will be m by H, and that equal to minus Nz E square R 0 square mu 0 by 6 m, right. So, this is the susceptibility of the material, and the susceptibility is negative, and that material is called diamagnetic material, and it is the diamagnetism of the solids, right. So, here this chi, it is in the order of 10 to the minus 6, chi it is in the order of 10 to the minus 6, right, and this chi you know mu r minus 1. So, mu r is slightly, so this is negative sign, So, mu r is slightly less than 1. So, when a material will show the negative susceptibility and permeability is slightly less than 1, then that material is called diamagnetic material. And this susceptibility is independent of temperature, because it purely depends on the orbital motion, right, and that with temperature orbit does not change, orbital motion of the electron does not change, right. So, it is independent of temperature, it is very small value, and it is present in all materials, whether permanent dipole moment is there or not. Okay. So, if you draw chi as a function of h as a function of h, so you will see this kind of variation towards negative. Okay. And if you draw this chi as a function of temperature, then you will see the constant value. chi is constant value, but it is negative. Okay. So I will stop here. I will continue in next class. Thank you.